It's time for a new adventure.
Welcome to another episode of Adventures in Business. We are here recording at Risky Studios in East Lansing. This is your co-host, Amy Zander, and I'm here with the lovely Lisa Fisher. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing fantastic, Amy. How are you today?
Great, great. So, what have you been doing around town?
So, Rivers of Life Church put on this amazing event, Women of Faith Conference, and the speakers, Paula Cunningham, Sherry Jones, Kelly Etchison, and Pastor Bridget Brown. Oh my gosh, they did such a phenomenal job. You see these people out in the business community a lot, but to be able to see them, you know, in a faith-based setting, it was really good and very informative and a lot of great information.
Yeah. So was it a women's conference, did you say?
It was.
Okay.
It was, and I was excited to invite my daughters and a couple of clients, and we just went and really gleaned a lot.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah. How about you, Amy? What have you been doing?
So I attended the Ingham Student Art exhibit at the Lansing Art Gallery. So that was really cool. Tons and tons of really amazing high school students' art. The sad thing about that exhibit is that none of the art is for sale, right? Because I saw so much stuff I wanted to buy, but they're minors, you know.
Okay.
You can actually tell the staff at the art gallery, I'm really interested in that, and they'll let the student and their parents know if you really want to buy something. But it was really cool. And then they do have some winners of the art exhibition, and they get some art scholarships. Nice. And so there were some students from Okemos High School that won. I think they have a really phenomenal art program over there. And well, they all do, but Okemos is kind of a shining star in the art community for the high school. So that was really fun. And then I did eat at the new restaurant Bobcat Bonnie's. That's downtown. It's in the old Clara's building downtown in Lansing. I did check that out. So that was fun. That was before that concert I went to. So yeah, been doing some fun stuff. What about you, Lorin? Have you done anything?
I was going to say, you saw what I was doing.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I went to Bobcat Bonnie's. It was actually really nice. I think I had the French toast pancakes, and it was so good. I know they have like a lot of breakfast stuff. I like breakfast, so I had a lot of breakfast items, and it was really good. I really did like it.
See, I went for dinner, so I'll have to check out the breakfast menu.
Okay.
So, Amy, we'll get to this at the end. We always have that question that we ask our listeners about who they want to meet. But I hear so many great things about this Bobcat Bonnie's. I would love, if anybody knows the owners that wants to get them on the show, would love to have them as a guest.
Yes.
Because I've seen some phenomenal posts on social media, and just, I think they would be a great to be here.
And they have a 6-hour happy hour on Thursday.
6 hours?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Every hour's happy hour.
Yeah, 3 to 10 on Thursday. So, yeah.
Well, and what they do with that building is so interesting, because it's like half of it is a Starbucks, and then the other half is the Bobcat Bonnie's. And I have a little bit of an inside scoop about that building, but the Starbucks one, they had some corporate people from Starbucks from all over the country come when they had their grand opening. And because the building owners and people that did that building, they said, we want all the new Starbucks to look like this. So they, So
I've never actually been inside.
I haven't been. I've been to the drive-through, exactly.
Yeah.
But they just really loved what they did with that building,
Wow.
And so they're going to use it as an example going forward. So
Nice.
So check it out.
Well, not to steal the thunder from our guest today, I'm telling you, we have a shining star with us, Lorin Cumberbatch, CEO of Skin Studio 211. It's a beauty spa that's located in Lansing and East Lansing, a couple locations, and it's the East Lansing's only Black-owned spa. She provides facials, lashes, waxing, and sugaring, along with at-home retail products. Skin Studio 211, summed up, is where the skin receives all the love. And Lorin and her team are amazing. But Lorin, welcome. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. So tell us more about the studio. How did you come about owning a studio?
So I like to say I started this business by accident because I honestly came to Michigan to drop my son off, who just had open heart surgery, and he needed to come here to stay with my mom, his dad, and I needed to go back to New York to have back surgery, but then that pandemic happened, of course. So we was locked down in Michigan. We were just stuck in the house. And while I was here in Michigan, I was just like, I like the quietness of Michigan, of no traffic. Because living in New York, I went to work. It was 3 hours every day hour and a half there, hour and a half back. So to know I can just drive to the store and come back, it was really nice. To know I could pull into the driveway was nice because we had street parking in New York. Just so much more opportunities that I saw. So I said, hey, maybe I should try to be here. And at this time, my surgery got canceled for my back surgery. So my insurance said I can have surgery here in Michigan, or I can have it in New York, any of the 50 states, as long as it was in network, and I had Blue Cross Blue Shield. So it was pretty wide. And I figured at the time, we also in New York, how they seemed like they wasn't going to open anytime soon. So I knew Michigan was going to be the state. And while I was sitting here, I tried to apply to some jobs. I had a few interviews and no one would hire me, not one job. And I had 3 years of experience in banking. I applied to probably every bank, every credit union, and no one would hire me. So I was already licensed as an esthetician, and I was just sitting here in Michigan, just like I have my esthetician kit, so let me just open up, a small room so that hopefully I can at least make some money, because I'm on disability at the time, but that runs out after a while. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not going to make any money after this. And once during the pandemic, I was just like, okay, I need to build this website. I need to find the booking site. I need to, get all the back end stuff. So when I open, I'm ready to go. That's how I thought. And then I also was waiting for Governor Whitmer to try to figure out when we can open. So as I built everything, I found the place, had my friends help me paint and all these things, had packages delivered to my house and did things slow. And then as soon as she said we could open, I opened, and I had already started posting that I was soon to come. And I literally would just write down everyone's name that said, oh, tell me when you're open. So I made a list of everyone's name. As soon as we opened, I reached out to all of them, and I was fully booked since.
Yeah.
So much. So you've grown to 2 locations.
Yeah.
And did you imagine sitting there in that room thinking, what am I going to do?
Nope.
That it would grow like this?
Never even crossed my mind. Never even thought I would be this busy. It was not on my 2020 bingo board or anything like that. It was nothing. I honestly thought I would just open up and then I would just, eventually find a job and then go back and maybe did this on the side. But to know I have 2 locations later, I'm like, how did I get here? So I always say I'm always chasing my business, not my business chasing me. So
yeah.
But you also, I believe, have your own product.
Yep, now we have our own product now.
Tell us about your product.
So we actually have skincare products. So we have like a full line for a skincare routine. We also have lash products as well. That's another avenue I'm trying to grow as well, because I realize there's no esthetician supply stores here. And going to New York, we have a store for everything. I know that Lansing, we usually have to drive towards Detroit or Canton or different places like that. So I know when I first opened up, I would have to go to Sally's or turn away clients because my shipment didn't come or anything like that. So now, because I order so much, and we've switched a lot of stuff to our own brand, I wanted to be able to offer new estheticians coming up to be able to buy from us. So if you need lash supplies and you ran out for whatever reason, you can get it. Or if you drop your tweezers and they're bent now, and you're not trying to pay 3 times as much as Sally's, now you can get it from us. So yeah.
Nice. Way to take advantage of a situation some would think was a bad situation, right?
Yeah.
And wallow in, I'm not getting hired anywhere, but heck no, you hit the go button, girl. You
Absolutely.
just did it.
I know. I really think when God really wants you to do something, he will force you.
Yeah.
You have no choice.
Yeah, and I also too, if you have a good idea, you can't stop thinking about it.
Absolutely.
Right? It keeps you up at night. You're always thinking about it. You're telling everybody about it. And I always tell people, if you've got an idea like that, it's probably worth trying to figure out how to make it happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I did have a shop in New York, and that was open for a little bit, but it didn't take off as much as this. So, I always tell people, I want to say I failed in the last one because it helped me grow this one.
Sure.
I knew what to do now with this location. So, yeah.
So what's your vision? What's next?
So I like to say I want to be the next European Wax Center, the next Sugar NYC, instead of just being focused on one thing. Europeans just focus on waxing. I want to be focused on everything under an esthetician license versus just one thing. So I'm kind of like the European Wax Center, Sugar NYC, Glow Bar. All those are esthetician franchise stores, but I'm taking all of them and putting them in one. So that's hopefully my goal.
So which was your first location, the East Lansing or the Lansing?
Lansing.
Okay. So what what prompted you to decide that I need another location? Like, talk us through that process.
So I already thinking about like, okay, I want to go, grow and open another store. And at the time, once I went to my storefront in West Lansing, we had a lot of college kids who came all the way from East Lansing to West Lansing.
Wow.
Yes, they would Uber, they would take the bus, everything all the way out there. And they would tell me, there's nothing out there. And I'm like, what? And so I actually did the research. Yeah, there is nothing. Like, they would have to kind of go out of the downtown East Lansing, which is kind of hard for them because they live on campus,
Right.
So I thought about it, and I had quite a few of them who definitely all said the same thing. They didn't even know each other, so they're all saying the same thing. I'm like, let's do it, And that's kind of how I keep growing, is I listen to what my clients are saying. They're going to tell you what to do next. And so then I found something. I made sure that when I found this location, it have a bus route in front. It had to have parking. It had to be central to everything. And then that's how I found the Grand River location.
Yes. And if you've not been into any of her locations, they are so awesome. They're decorated nicely. It's a warm, great place to go and check out. So definitely.
So how many employees do you have?
Right now, I think I have 10.
10?
Yep.
For combined?
Yeah, combined.
Okay.
Combined, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's quite a bit, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
That's a lot. You've grown pretty fast in a short period of time.
No,
So,
seriously. It hasn't even been 4 years yet.
Wow.
So I couldn't even believe it. I don't know. I always say, I don't even know how I got here.
Yeah. Well, you are very well recognized in the area. You've won some awards and
Yep.
some recognition. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I won quite a bit. I think at least 12, I think.
Wow.
So it's really exciting to know that my hard work is being noticed, because I just don't want to be just a regular business here. I also want to be in the community. That's why I donate gift cards wherever I can. If anyone reaches out to me, I'll give a gift card. Try to give my time if I can. I try to, I don't know, I always felt like if I was ever in a position where I can give back, I want to, because I don't know, I just feel like you can't keep growing and not give back.
Speaking our language,
Right.
Lisa and I both have that same core
See?
value in our businesses as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. That's how the community can grow. We see it all the time. So, yeah.
So talk a little bit about your services. I know you mentioned you got sugaring, which I don't know what that is. What is sugaring?
It's another type of hair removal, but that hair removal is more all natural. Uses sugar, honey, and water. You can pretty much eat it if you want. Yep, it's a little bit more for sensitive skin. We have regular waxing. We do lash lift and tint, brow lamination. We do all type of facials. So we do quite a lot of things. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm excited for those things.
Yeah.
Do you do like group things? So like if they wanted a group of people either to come in or you go to a location that just wanted to hire you guys to come and do facials for all their people, do you do that?
I'm trying to figure out a way to do that.
Okay.
Because we have gotten some inquiries about that. It's just difficult because we get so many people, and to take people out of the spa and compare it to how much we would make if we were in spa versus taking people out, it's kind of hard.
You almost have to do it outside of regular business hours or something.
Yeah, exactly. And we're already open such a long time, from like 9 to 8. So
7 days or 6 days?
7 days. So it's kind of hard to say, and then the price would kind of have to be at least minimum of what we make in store, and that's quite a bit. So we're trying to figure out how to do this. I've been trying to do like facial parties, which is more so you do the service where we're assisting you, and that requires 1 or 2 people depending on how big it is. So instead of us actually doing the facials, you can do it, and we're teaching you about that.
So you give them the product, you're like, rub this on your skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And we've done one already, and people found it beneficial because they didn't know the steps, the orders, how to use the product, things like that. So we are more trying to do that.
Okay.
I like that. That's more of an education piece, and I think that's what people need to know, right? Because I gotta tell you, when I put stuff on, I'm just rubbing it all over, and they're like, "Yeah, no, you want
Up
to
and
do
out,
some
up and
things
out.
a little bit differently.
Yeah,
lift this stuff up."
Yeah, or a product doesn't necessarily go over your whole face. It's just
Exactly.
targeted areas.
Exactly.
Well, and I think as women, as we get older into our middle age and stuff, it's like we have to think. I have to think more about that kind
Absolutely.
of stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. I always tell people when they say like, oh, I want to tighten my skin, I'm like, the best way is to do your skincare routine up and out. Because we have muscle memory in our face, so if you put everything up and you push it out, it'll keep reminding the muscles to stay up versus most people go down and you're pulling it down. So it's telling it to stay down. So just even little things like that,
Okay.
Yeah, and then they're more easier to ask us questions when we're there and helping them out versus them trying to get a facial and hurry up and quickly tell them versus we're spending a whole amount of time and maybe your friend had a question that you didn't even think about, things like that.
Right.
So it makes it like a fun, engaging environment. So
Very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Yeah.
So when you start thinking about your greatest wins, you've already done so much in 4 years with 2 locations. What are you the most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of honestly downtown East Lansing. I think I am because I gave a space for Black students. They tell me that all the time that they come to me because it's Black owned, and especially people from Detroit. They're not used to coming to East Lansing and almost nothing is representing them. So I just couldn't believe that it's been like this for so long. I'm like, I thought we were so far, but you don't realize how we didn't really come that far. There's not a lot of places where people of color can go and know that the owner is, looks just like them, or they say they got a service done at this place and it was not good because they don't know how to deal with, their type.
Exactly. My oldest 2 daughters are Hispanic and my granddaughters are Hispanic, and to find somebody that really can help them do their hair and do it right and do it well, because it's it's different. They're all curls and thick, and it's to find somebody that knows your hair or knows your skin and get to deal with it. It's a big difference.
It's a huge difference. That's why I tried to with Skin Studio, is that we try to be able to do everyone. I don't want no one to feel like they can't. I've even had someone who said that they've gone to another place and they told them they couldn't wax them because they're bigger. That has nothing to do with waxing.
Right.
I don't know. So I just try to make sure like, oh yeah, absolutely I can do you. I don't think any person I can't do so.
Right.
Well, and I think with that kind of with that outlook and that type of an attitude, I think that just continues because we attract people, right, that are like us. So when you're openly that giving and friendly and accepting, you're going to start seeing your business flourish because that's
Absolutely. And I think we're in that time where it's like everyone wants to be included. If you're going to have something, you have to include everyone. We've seen it with Fenty Beauty, how big they grew up, but all she did was include everyone.
Yeah.
And now everyone wants to include everyone, but that should have been the standard to begin with,
Sure.
So.
Sure. So can you talk a little bit about, I think sometimes people, I'm so happy to hear that your East Lansing location's doing so well, but I kind of think of like skincare and things like that as more like would be more of a luxury for students, but it seems like you have no shortage of students, and I know that there's students from all walks of life here at some that with more discretionary income than others, but I think as a culture where we are shifting towards a little bit more of like self-care isn't a luxury necessarily. It's, for good. And so there's a lot to be said about facials and things like that isn't just like, oh, I'm going to go do this because it feels good. I mean, they're actually taking care of themselves and doing things that have a medical reason for them. Can you just talk a little bit about that shift?
So honestly, when we started on the pandemic, people was willing to risk their health to go get their hair done.
Yeah.
So we think it's not important. We think it's a luxury. But when we was in the pandemic, we saw that none of that was a luxury, that women actually want to get their hair done. They want to get their nails done. They don't care. It's not like a thing that they will not take off. People, I don't know, I feel like nowadays people say like, we aren't making enough money, but if we look at all the things that we're spending money on, nails 100% do not need to be on our list. Facials do not need to be on our list, but we make time for what we want to make time. And I'm actually surprised. I had the same mindset. I'm not going to lie that East Lansing college kids may not be able to afford this. They actually do way more than West Lansing. Like,
well, they were coming all the way out there.
Right, exactly.
So,
Exactly. And they 100% will spend the money. They want to look good. And I think, honestly, with the social media, everyone wants to look good.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to spend money on their waxing, on their facials and things like that. And we're starting to see that, dermatologists, they're giving them medication that they necessarily don't need when they could just get a couple facials, get a good skincare routine. Everyone wants the Korean skincare routine, the 10-step routine, and then realizing that they don't need that. So it's becoming a big thing. The pandemic really shifted a lot of that, and a lot of people work from home now.
More Zoom calls. You're looking at yourself more.
Exactly. We don't want to wear makeup every naked like we did before the pandemic. The pandemic made us realize we want to be ourselves. A lot easier, anything that can make it faster. That's what we're into. So that's how I look at it.
Well, then I think when we think about mindset and just the mental health of everybody, right? When we look good, we feel good.
Absolutely.
And I think that makes a big difference in giving people an opportunity to feel good about themselves and not be miserable.
Absolutely.
Right, so.
And they also share a lot with us in the rooms. Like, I've had someone,
I bet.
literally, I have someone tell us, like, she had a miscarriage. I had someone tell me their husband is going to jail for some things. Like, they told us a lot of stuff. And, I mean, maybe they don't want to tell a friend, but they want to tell somebody.
Yeah.
They don't want to tell a therapist because they don't need anyone to tell them the problems they have, but they just want to talk.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've had people literally just say, I just wanted to book something just to come talk with you. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm here. I'm like, let's talk. I don't have nothing else to do, so let's talk.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
love it. And you are still working in the business,
Absolutely,
right? Even though
yeah.
you have 10, you are still
Yeah.
hands-on in the business.
Every day, 6 days a week. Yeah, my clients, I don't know. I feel like when I try to like close it down, like, I don't know, they just won't let me go.
Yeah.
They, like when I went from West Lansing to East Lansing, they followed me there. I've had people who said like if I was to move there, they got to figure out how they're going to come see me. I'm like, you can just go to this employee or whatever. They won't want to.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I've known them for like almost 4 years now.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they become a friend, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs out there if they have an idea sitting in their room and then they pull the trigger to go? What advice would you give them?
I tell people to try everything.
Mm.
1, try everything. And 2, you do not have to be an entrepreneur to be successful. I don't know. I feel like we're in the, especially since the pandemic, everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. And I always tell people, you do not have to do that. We still need workers, and it's not easy. It is not easy. Not everyone's meant for it. Sometimes I question if I'm meant for it, you know. It's not easy, and, you know, you can also have the same amount of success working for someone. I've seen it when I worked at the bank. Like, someone was barely even there. Like, he would come in real quick, leave, but that's what his job title. He can do that, you know. So, but I say try everything. Who would have known that me coming to Michigan just, you know, trying to get a job and it not working out, and me like, hey, let me just try this, and it took off. I never would have thought that. And I've done makeup before, and I used to travel all over Michigan to do makeup, and that didn't take off even as fast as this, you know. Then I tried to move back to New York to do the makeup thing. It didn't take off. I feel like you got to move around also, because if I didn't move back to Michigan, maybe this would have taken, you know, I would never have this. You know, so sometimes if you're trying something here in your hometown, you might have to move out of town for it to take off. You don't know. So.
I think it's really interesting too that this took off faster and more successful here than in New York somewhere. I mean, maybe there's more competition there or something like that, but there's also so much more people, and it's more dense. So that's good to hear. But that's really good advice. Is that sometimes if it doesn't work, maybe it's just where you're at.
It's 100%. I've seen a lot of times where people will be here trying so hard, and then they move to another state, and then it took off better.
Right.
And I don't know. I say Lansing is a good place to start a business.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know
It
people.
is.
I think people from Lansing don't see it, but I'm not from Lansing, and I'm like, you 100% will probably have more success here because we don't have a lot here. So if you want to create, I don't know, a knitting business, how many knitting businesses do we know? Like, whereas New York is like, when I had my spa, there was like 6 literally, not even a 5-mile radius, other spas. So if I can't get the client in at that moment, they're just going to go right next door.
Yeah.
You know, here it's just like, they have to wait. If they want to come to us, they can be like, okay, well, I can come tomorrow, next week or something. They're going to wait. So I tell people all the time, try to start the business here. That's just me.
Yeah. Now, I know Lansing has a lot of services around town to help people with certain businesses. So can you talk a little bit about any of them that you used or people that you met that helped you?
So I always give it up to Leap and like Tony Willis. That was the first program I ever tried, and they made me think way bigger than I thought, because again, I took off and I'm like, okay, this is going really fast, and they made me realize, like, you know, you need a business plan, you need this setup, you know, that setup, and I've done every program in Leap. I maxed out all the programs, and they are the ones that I will 100% say is for sure it. I've done the Goldman Sachs program as well in Detroit. Any program I will do, because I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs or anything. So these programs have helped me shape my business and made me think bigger and figure out where to get resources, where to get grants, and things like that. So all the programs, I think Michigan does 100% a good job. Because living in New York, I don't remember any of any of this
Right.
helped. So, I
Yeah.
mean, they did, it's probably hundreds of applications, whereas this is probably 10,
Right.
you know? And they do it by city. I know Detroit does really well with grant funding right now because they're trying to build it up and whatnot. So
Yes.
there's so much more in Detroit than in Lansing, but Lansing's doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
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 You know, we had Tony on the show with
Oh,
Leap
yay.
just because I think business owners need to know what the resources are, or potential entrepreneurs. They need to know what's available out there because we do have a lot of those, a lot of places to go. And I think Leap is one of the foundational pieces.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and as an established business, there's opportunities to be a mentor or give
Yes.
back or do things like
Yep.
that.
Yes.
Both you and I have been
Yep.
mentors in that program. I'm currently one right now. So
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
in one of the lead programs, and it works really well. I think since the pandemic, all over the United States, there's been a lot of pouring into small businesses, 100%. Because I think even Harvard had free classes at one point for entrepreneurs, and there's so much they're giving back now to small businesses. So I know the pandemic might have been a sad time, but it was also a great time to make a shift for a lot of people. So.
really dig in. What do I really want to do?
Exactly, we had time to think.
Yeah,
So-
true. Yeah, and I think too what you said earlier. It's not for everybody.
No, it's
right?
not.
But I do think, especially if you're a young person and you think you might want to give it a try or you have a business idea, try it, because even if it doesn't work out, it could be a stepping stone to
Yes.
something else, or you've got the rest of your life to figure it out.
Absolutely.
You've got time, right, to
Absolutely.
try. Yeah, I think that's true. I was recently talking to a group of 11th and 12th graders through the junior achievement about business owning, and one of the things we were talking about is, like, as a business owner, you often have to make decisions when you don't know what decision to make.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to make a decision because you're the owner, and somebody's got to make a decision, and you've
Exactly.
got to be okay with that, or at least get used to that, and be really comfortable with unpredictability and not knowing and that kind of thing. A risk taker at some
Absolutely,
point,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I did the junior achievement, and it's so funny because one of the girls, I think she was like only 17, she was just like, I want to, do this business, but I don't feel like, I don't want to waste my time. I'm like, you have all the time
You're
in the
17.
world.
Yeah.
I'm like, most of us live until 80.
Right.
Like, she was like, I know, but I don't want to work at this job for 2 years and waste my time. I'm like, every job I've had has helped me to this point.
Yeah.
Every single job. When I worked as a server, you'll see me how I hold boxes. I hold it just like a server. Now I can hold 50 boxes with one hand. Like, I was like, you have so much time. I was like, try it. Like, who knows? It might actually take off, but if you don't make a decision, it may never. Now you're gonna regret 20 years has gone by and you didn't do anything.
Should I have opened that coffee shop or
Exactly.
that bookstore?
Exactly.
Whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah, we were just talking with our guest from last week, talking about how he from the MSU dairy store, and we're talking just about food service and how everybody should work in food service at least once,
Absolutely.
right? To get that
100%.
experience and that learning and just dealing with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we said that when I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings, we said that everyone should at least work in service, food service. That will really shape you really well. I think people will be way more nicer when they work in food service, for sure, because that is no joke.
Yeah. Well, we've all had that experience where we go out to dinner with somebody who's maybe never worked in food service, and they're maybe a little pickier or harder on the wait staff or whatever, and you're like, don't send your food back. Just don't do that.
I know.
Right.
Like, you don't understand. I'm like, I'm vouching for you back there, but the kitchen does not care. I'm trying my best. So yeah, I do, and it teaches you to be fast.
Yes.
Food service, you have to be fast because then people are not happy, and I think everyone should do it 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So are your employees or the people that work with you, are they all employees, or do you have like contractors, anybody like renting space from you?
No,
or anything?
all W2.
Employee, all
Yep,
employees.
all of them.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I like it that way just because, I don't know, it's just easier for me that way. I never thought about the other way, and I just feel like when you have booth renters and all that stuff, at the end of the day, they're still looking at your name. So even though they may be their own business under your name, if something's wrong with their business, they're still looking at your
Representing
name.
you,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right.
Yep,
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you getting your inspiration from, right? When you need that little lift of keep going, Erin.
Honestly, right now, it's all the business people I met. Like, they will not let me give up at all. They won't. They tell me all the time they will not, even when I feel like it. They're like, that's not even an option. So those are the people. I just had a conversation with Deanna from Everything is Cheesecake last night. She just poured into me a little bit as well. So it's all the new friends I kind of made because I did not know them before the pandemic.
Right.
But all the people I met now, people will be like, you've only known them for 3 years? I'm like, yeah. Well, you seem like you got known them for forever. I'm like, no, I've only known them a few years, but I don't know. They've just become like honestly family because it's just me, my mom, my son here, and things like that. So
You gotta have your cheerleaders. in your
absolutely.
corner.
Yeah.
Well, being a business owner can be kind of lonely sometimes,
Absolutely.
right? Because you don't have any. Nobody's patting you on the back.
No,
Good job,
it's
Lauren!
legit
Like,
you.
and-
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta have those other people in your corner. and
Absolutely, tell you like
that
you gotta
know.
get up. You gotta
Yeah.
get up today. You
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know, did you feed yourself today? You got to.
And it's in celebrating all the wins,
Absolutely.
even the little
Small
ones,
ones.
even the little
Yes,
ones.
100%. Because we keep going and going and going and don't realize like we might have had a bad day today, but we had 100 wins before then.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it matters. Yeah.
Well, Lansing has been celebrating your wins.
I
with you,
know,
too.
I know.
You're like
I'm
the
excited.
it girl lately. It's
I'm
awesome.
excited. I love it. So that's also that keeps me going because like when I go to work and I see my clients, like I just feel like I just can't give up because they won't even let me. Like
Right.
I don't even know. Like I think about like how would I be able to even retire? Like you guys, I'm gonna have to retire one of these days. I
Right.
had back
Yes.
surgery. I'm gonna need to
Yeah.
retire,
Or
but
take us some steps.
yeah, exactly. I'm like I might have to, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
But part of your business too, though, is that you see like immediate results with people. They're glowing.
I
Their
do.
skin's better. They're
You see
like
the
walking
change.
out like, yeah, I feel so much better.
Oh,
Like,
you see
that's
the
gotta be so
change.
satisfying.
It really is. I don't know. I just like it to see how they came in before, and then when they leave, they just seem more happy and ready to go. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good, rewarding business, and
making people feel good.
absolutely, yeah.
So do you have men that come in for facials and get their eyebrows done and different things like that?
Yes, I always tell them when they come in, I'm like, I'm sorry for the pink. Wasn't thinking about men when I created this business. I thought about women. I'm a female, so I'm like, of course. And yes, we do. Usually, majority of the time, we see them because their wife, girlfriend, or something brought them in, or they really have a concern. Like, they really are grown up, really bad unibrow. They really want to get it done. That's really how we see them. But we service anyone. We don't, no matter who you are. We even service some. I think I had a 10-year-old because she did dancing. They shave under their underarms.
Yes.
And her mom was like, I don't want her to shave. I want her to wax because it's better for her underarms. So I said,
Yeah.
100%. But we service anyone.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah. That's good to know for our listeners out there.
Yes,
that,
please.
Oh,
The
exactly.
kids and
Yeah,
the
because
sports
shaving is
stuff.
so bad. Just the razor bumps, the friction on the skin. So if you can get them to wax, you can. People, I don't know why I always see it on social media. People feel uncomfortable with waxing, but they don't feel uncomfortable with them shaving. I don't. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And typically, if you get wax, does it last longer?
A lot longer.
Longer.
They only come once a month.
Okay.
Where shaving is like every other day,
Yeah.
if that. And I feel like you're wasting a lot of money because you have to buy the razor, the shaving cream, all this other stuff, and you gotta. If you don't change out the razor, you can get sick. Bacteria is
Right.
growing, all this other stuff.
Yeah. And kids might not. Be,
Yeah,
might not be the best at that. So.
Exactly. We know they're not
Right.
going to be the best of it. So
Right.
where it's like you come in there real quick, less than 30 minutes, and then leave and not have to worry about for a month.
Yeah.
So why
that's
not?
Excellent.
Very good. So obviously, can we go online to book services? Do we call in?
Yeah.
How do we? Okay.
So you can go online if you want, skinstudio211.com. Everything's skinstudio211.com. You can call, you can walk in. We do take walk-ins. However, I like to say walk-ins are not the first priority.
Sure.
So if you come in, you might have to wait.
Right.
Or you may not have an appointment.
What's the 211 from? Is that your address of your first
No.
location? Okay.
So actually 211 is my grandma who passed away. So her birthday was February 11th. Skin Studio came from my shop in New York. We called it Skin Studio 226. The 226 was the building of the...
Sure.
Yeah. And then when I made this business, I was like, okay, I like the Skin Studio. And I was like, I think I want to change the number because we're not 226 anymore.
Right.
And I don't have a business partner anymore as well. So I wanted to change it just a little bit. And I was like, oh, maybe I do her death day. And then my friend was like, that's not happy. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should do 211. So I did 211.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I like that too because now they have more than one location. It's not tied to an address. So
Yes.
people aren't going looking
Exactly.
for the address.
I didn't think about that, but that is a
I
good
like
point.
that.
Yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
to change the number, and now it's just been growing. So
Oh, shout out to Grandma.
I know.
She'd be proud.
I know, I'm so excited. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
That is
So I try to
awesome.
incorporate both of them as much as I can. So any way possible.
Now, does your mom? You said you're here with your mom. Does
Yep.
she help you in your business?
Yep.
Yeah.
So she's my receptionist as
Ah.
well, and now she's my manager as well. So she helps a lot with it. She's a really type A person. I'm a type B, so it works out perfect. She's more organized than I am. Me, I'm trying to get there.
You're more the face.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Personable
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah, and I'm better at making decisions, running a business. She's more as she's always been an assistant to every job she's had has been an assistant to somebody or manager of somebody. So that's her role, and she's way better at it than me. So she's been doing a lot more of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And then you said you have a son.
Yep.
Yeah. So how old is he?
He's only 5, so I can't
Okay.
help me
Does
yet.
he like to come in? Though?
Oh yeah, he comes with me
See them?
sometimes.
Yeah.
So my mom would drop him off, and he'll stay at the studio with me. He'll just sit in a room sometimes. Sometimes he wants to help me with some things like packing things and cleaning up, but other times he just wants to hang out with the people that's there. Sometimes
The pretty lady.
Yeah, exactly. He wants to say hi and all. Yeah, so
Yeah. Well, that's good for
Yeah.
business too. I'm
exactly.
sure.
Yeah. So yeah,
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
Is there anything we have not asked you that you would like to share with the listeners?
No, you guys did like a really good job. I'm not gonna lie, it was a really good question. I think definitely different questions as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we always ask our guests at the end of each show if there's anybody in the community that you really been wanting to meet or connect with, because some of our listeners we know out there, our listeners know a lot of people and they're business owners as well. So anybody you're dying to meet, or a group of people or something like
I
that?
think honestly, the first time you said that, I think I said in my head, I was like, I want to meet Sarah Anthony. I'm on Facebook. I know same people as her, and I don't know her. I don't think I've ever spoken to her.
Sarah Anthony?
Yep.
What does she do?
She's I think the state representative.
Okay.
Something.
Josh, what'd you say?
Senator.
Senator. Okay, I thought it was Senator.
yeah,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, I'm like, I legit know
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
people she know. I've gone to some of her events, but I don't know. I have her friend on Facebook and everything.
Okay.
So I think that would be cool to know.
You want to meet Sarah Anthony? All right.
Yeah.
We're putting that out to the
Yes.
Adventures in Business listeners and Sarah Anthony that Lorin
Yeah.
Cumberbatch wants to meet you.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
cool.
That's
So.
fantastic. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Of
coming today. I'm
course.
so glad you're here.
Yes,
It's
I
exciting.
know. I'm
Yeah.
excited. It was good.
It's so fun to watch you grow.
I
Yeah.
thank
So
you.
fun. So fun.
Thank you.
You are everywhere. Your face is
I try to
everywhere.
be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like to be other places, and Lansing has a lot to offer. I don't know.
Mhm.
People don't feel like they do, but Lansing 100% does. We have a lot to do. I'm always trying to figure out how I'm going to go to every event that there is. People say there's nothing to do, and I'm like,
so
my
hard.
calendar is full.
I know. I hate it when people say that. There's nothing to do in Lansing. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I'm like, I have to decline.
Like,
the
well, you
events.
need to listen to our show.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm just like, there's everything to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, there
Yeah. I don't know for the younger kids, but for adults, you have a lot to do.
Yeah. There's a lot of kid stuff too, for sure.
Yes,
Right.
I follow
Yeah.
Lansing Littles and like Lansing Moms. I'm like, yeah, there's stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe-
there's a lot of the groups too that help.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Moms groups. There's the 517 Living for stuff to do.
Oh, yes,
and
I love
all
that page.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Sarah's good at that. So.
I know she's great at that. Yeah. Yeah. So
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you so much
Of
for being
course.
here today. It's been great.
of
It's been great.
course. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank
I
you for
love
having me.
Yeah.
I'm
Appreciate
looking
it.
forward to the what's next.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Seen a third location?
I want to
Yeah?
so badly. I really
Okay.
want to go towards Detroit. I got to figure out a way because all the resources, you have to be a Detroit native. And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm not a Detroit native, but I'm pretty sure I deserve to be there because I hear all the college kids who are from Detroit. I see them 9 months out the year. And they will 100% will come to if I had a Detroit location because I have their card on file. They get points with us, you know. They like being at our studio, but I see them 9 months out of the year, and then 3 months they're gone for summer.
Right.
So it was just 3 months. I'm like, I will be able to at least start with there. So that's my goal, hopefully, to go towards that way.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
I love it. You deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Yes,
yes.
I deserve to be there.
You deserve to be there.
Detroit needs you.
Yes, exactly. So
Yes.
let's see.
All right, well, we'll be watching.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thanks to our listeners for joining us again on an Adventures in Business. We record at Risky of Studios, and this podcast is produced by Zedia Media and hosted by me, Amy Zander, and the lovely Lisa Fisher. We release new episodes every Wednesday. You can find us at zediamedia.com or wherever you listen to your podcast. We hope that you have a great day, and as always, go out and make it an adventure.
That was good.
This is a Zedia Media production.